When this thing started, it started coming from the communities. It's a benefit, I want to tell you, because a lot of projects are being implemented here without involvement of communities. But this one, through Malapat Development Trust, we created an idea, built by ourselves, and then together with SAT, we come up with such a project. Right now, as we speak, the Manjinji Bosman sites have been developed.
We formed the organization which is called Malapat Development Trust. We started to look for partners since we communities could not have funds to do some activities. 2019, it's when we came partnership with GCT, RDC, and SAT World.
The partnership between Malapati Development Trust, MDT, the Turedzi Rural District Council, RDC, Gonorzo Conservation Trust, GCT, and Sustainable Agriculture Technology, SATWILD, has resulted in the development of campsites, trails, and picnic spots within the Manjinji Pan Bird Sanctuary and the building of Bosman's Camp, a luxurious tented camp along the Munezi River. The developments were made possible by funding provided primarily from the European Union. Bordering Gonorzo National Park and a mere 80 kilometers from South Africa's Kruger National Park, Manjinji Pan and Bosman's Camp are situated in Zimbabwe's premier wildlife area of the southeast Lowveld.
Historically, people have done conservation in isolation and not really looking at the importance of their neighbours. But we're also part of a bigger landscape, the Greater Limpopo Transfrontier Park. Again, looking at it only from a park's perspective, you lose out so much more than looking at it from a bigger landscape perspective, which is a lot more resilient in the long term, especially looking at factors like climate change, etc. We need to start finding solutions in the bigger landscapes rather than just as a national park on its own.
Turedzi district is a dry district. It is mainly lies in Region 5 in terms of the ecological regions of Zimbabwe, and therefore we see the Manjinji and Bosman site projects as coming in handy to deal with the challenges that we face in terms of the livelihoods of our people. Those projects will actually uplift the livelihoods of people and also help in terms of the conservation effort that is going around the area.
Manjinji Pan is a very interesting place. It's always been part of the Parks and Wildlife Estate, but never really enjoyed much formal protection from parks. That's been left up to the community to a large extent, who have looked after the place, they've treasured it, and respected it to a huge degree. And that accounts for the wonderful environment that we see there today. Unfortunately, when one takes a bit of a closer look, you start to see that the pressures of growing populations and the need for food security and providing for one's family today have caused some erosion around the boundaries, encroachment of fields into the gazetted area of the Pan, and quite a lot of logging that went on before we started this project. So the community realized that they needed assistance in realizing their vision of protecting the Pan, not only for tourism and for the natural wonder that it is, but also because it's an important wetland that recharges their water table for their irrigation scheme next door.
So without preservation of that area, the Manjinji was going to be sealed and no longer support the aquifer system, water level. But now, since we have fenced the Manjinji, we believe the water level that needs to be drawn to irrigate the irrigation will be enough, and it will be good for the future of the community projects in Manjinji.
The Manjinji Pan is classified as a bird sanctuary. We've got 4 campsites in there and a picnic site. And really nice equipped campsites designed for self-drive tourists to visit. The site itself is really nice for families in particular. There's no elephants or any of the big 5 in there, so it's really nice to have walks. People can ride bikes and go around the area. So it offers something different to which Gonorzo doesn't have currently. And then the Bosman site is divided into 2 sides of the camp. You've got the Bosman's main camp, which has 4 ensuite tented facilities. the central kitchen and dining area, and then you've got a separate 2 tents designed exactly the same but also with their own separate kitchen area. So you can either have larger groups that take up the main camp, or a smaller group taking up the small camp, or you can take up the entire camp. And it also gives you access directly into the park itself. And you can go and visit some of the really nice sites in the park. Yeah, it's really nice, convenient for self-drives in particular, and just a really nice model for the park to get involved in.
In the end, it will be possible for the communities to stand up on their own and actually derive some livelihoods from those activities and the investments that are taking place in that area.
The Manjinji Bosman's tourism facilities are run by GCT in partnership with the community and the Chiredzi RDC, with profits going to the Malapati community.